What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, or pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Assad Piker, and this is the Hasanabi broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles. We are live once again, folks. Boys, girls, envies, we are live and alive. I just realized something. I just realized something. I will, how do I do this? How do I fix this? Oh, I gotta reauthorize my Twitch. Okay, sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope everyone's having a great day. I am live and alive, and this is the time of the broadcast where I tell you about some personal news and what's going on in my life. Now, usually there's a lot more to tell you. Well, sometimes there's a lot more to tell you about what's going on in my real life. Hold on one second. But lately I've been spending most of my time in front of the camera, in front of you guys, so there isn't exactly much going on that you're unaware of, but I do have some stream key issues, some problems that have been happening on the Twitch backend, but Twitch has informed me that they are working diligently, and they're working overtime to try to figure out what is causing my stream keys to keep getting changed in the back end. So that's what I've been dealing with a little bit this morning. I also gave an interview to Time Magazine, so that was cool, about like the future of activism and the future of politics and Twitch. Oh, my hair is so trash. I've done an interview about the future of my hair, which is looking really dire. Anyway, hold on. Oh, I mean, thank God nothing big happened yesterday, right? I mean, nothing like important or instrumental or anything like that happened yesterday, right? Not that I can think of, at least. Wait, hold on.
Insurrections win Pogo.
Shoot. Oh, that sucks. Where is my output directory on my Streamlabs? Ay, ay, ay. Why is Streamlabs so fucking hard to... Why is Streamlabels so hard to work with, dude? Come on. Come on. Come on! This is a new problem. So I'm trying to figure it out. Sorry, guys.
Greetings, Azimbo. It's your favorite black.
Yesterday was just an average day for a lot of people, I think, right? Nothing big happened, nothing important happened. So there's not really that much to talk about.
Time article.
By the way, that's the reason why I'm late this morning. I was I have to fix something. Hold on, sorry. Jesus Christ. Good start to the stream, boys. Good start to the stream. This part of the broadcast is where I fucking sit around and try to try to comprehend how to fix my stream labels where I put them. Maybe it was this. I think it was this.
Love all of you and thank you for allowing me into this beautiful community.
I don't know. I might have fixed it, but I'm not entirely certain. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, I think I fixed it. Yikes. Okay. Sorry that 30,000 people had to watch me fucking deal with some back-end problems. Anyway, okay, we're back. Boys, girls, MBs. Hello. Welcome. You might be wondering why I'm wearing a bolo tie, and well, there is a reason why. And that reason is, hold on one second. I'm gonna give you what the reason is. Folks, the reason why I'm wearing a bolo tie is this.
Cog was banned. I think that is the big news.
Later today, there is going to be
Thank you for all you do, Mr. Handsome Pooper, and also
a new character on this broadcast. Character that you've seen, that you may have heard of. Character that you might be fond of, ladies and gentlemen. I say fond of, but not Jane Fonda. Never forget Jane Fonda for being a traitor. Ladies and gentlemen, later in the day, I will be playing Rust Roleplay. I will leave the stream at 5 p.m. Pacific. Pacific time is a time I hate. Especially because California is a space that resides in Pacific time.
Hey, love you, chat.
But Hank Pecker will be making a return to the stream so that he can whip y'all fucking disgusting commies into shape. It's all about Central Time or Mountain Time for me, brother. I hate Pacific Time. All them goddamn socialists living out in California.
You are dripping all over the place. Also, I got a minoxidil lab yesterday. Targeted at Spogo.
Regardless, folks, later in the broadcast, we are going to figure out what kind of role play I should be doing for Rust, because I still have not figured out what my profession is going to be on this RP server. I've never really done RP before, so I'm very excited. But yeah, Hank Pecker will be coming back to the broadcast, but that's why I'm wearing a bolo tie right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Big love and solidarity from Philly.
Anyway, did I dilute my coffee? Yes. It's called an Americano. Look it up, sweaty. People are like, oh my God, I can't believe he's putting water in his coffee. What are you, crazy? Meanwhile, you're like, can I get a venti Americano, please? When you go to Starbucks. That's what this is, bitch. Okay? Yeah, it is espresso. This is literally espresso, which I have diluted with water. Okay? I like the little fish speech bubbles for chatters messages. Yes. Shouts out to Mint Jugert and Miss Metafan for doing that. Isn't espresso with water just coffee? No, it's Americano. Anyway, whatever.
At Hasanabi, I still
all right, folks. So big stuff happened yesterday. There was a failed hog rebellion. Some hogs were calling it a revolution. I'll just keep playing this background. Actually, I really am digging this. A failed hog insurrection occurred yesterday. There was a Pelosi briefing earlier today. Now, yesterday, some of you might be wondering what happened. If you weren't here, if you were under a rock, or maybe you were literally stuck and your stepbrother could not unfuck you or unstuck you. Sorry, by fucking you. And you yelled out, stepbrother, stepbrother, I'm stuck in this laundry machine.
$5 a month.
Hope nothing important is happening in American politics, like the Capitol Hill buildings being stormed by a bunch of chuds or anything, you know?
Love you, Arjan.
So if that was your situation and you're unaware of what the fuck happened, let me just give you a short and sweet of it. Donald Trump hosted an anti-democracy rally. There's no other way to describe what happened yesterday than literally just saying anti-democracy rally. He hosted this anti-democracy rally at the same time as the Senate and the House of Representatives were holding a joint session to hold a purely symbolic procedure that they often do for numerous different things, where they basically certify the Electoral College vote counts. Now, because Donald Trump is trying his darndest to make it seem like he didn't actually lose, because he is a sore loser, as he was a sore winner as well, he hosted a rally side by side as this was happening, riled up the chuds one last time, agitated them as he was for months about how today was going to be a big day, today being January 6th at the time. And those hogs went buck wild, folks. Believe me when I say they went buck fucking wild. What did those hogs do? They got agitated. They remembered. They got agitated. They remembered how Deborah fucked them over in child court, and they thought, what is the highest version of divorce court? Family court. Congress. So they decided to storm the halls of Congress and do a Bay of Hogs, or a beer hall push. I don't know how else to meme around that one. And they showed how feral hogs can get. Hogs gone wild, ladies and gentlemen. Hogs on hogs, ladies and gentlemen. They pushed hard. They overcame heart disease. They overcame hypertension. They overcame their diabetes. And they engaged, for the first time ever in a very long time, in acts of physical violence or just physical activity in general. They flew from all around the country, ladies and gentlemen, and they stormed the halls of Congress. 3 of them literally died in the process. One of them, as far as we know, accidentally killed themselves by tasing themselves. The other 2, I suspect, probably died of heart failure, as hogs often do. One person was shot and killed in the hands of Secret Service as she was trying to storm, or she was trying to basically run in through a broken window. Person who died flew in from San Diego. She was a QAnon supporter and a 14-year Air Force veteran who apparently even had high-level security clearance at a certain point. 4 tours she participated in the Air Force, and then got killed by a Secret Service agent or a cop. We don't know yet exactly who was the person who killed him. It's unacceptable. Regardless, police violence and police brutality is unacceptable. I am not going to sit here and tell you that it's very good that the cops did this all of a sudden because they're doing it to our political enemies or something. No, these are delusional people, and those most responsible for their delusions should be met with accountability, just like the cop who engaged in this incredibly violent action should absolutely face some charges. Okay? Just because it's hog-on-hog violence doesn't mean that, it's overall a good thing. It's not. Because remember, a cop that will shoot one of their own kind like that will just as easily shoot you down. Abso-fucking-lutely. They will not care. They will shoot you the fuck down. Which is technically one of the things that we also saw. One of the things that I'm going to be talking about, because it was unique. Because when the hogs stormed the halls of Congress, police, for some weird reason, almost seemingly opened the doors for them. I don't know how that happened. We saw numerous images. We saw numerous images of cops basically opening up the gates.
Wondering you do make an impact hassle.
Here's a good meme from that, from Hassan_Piker, actually. Cops when dealing with left-wing protesters. Attention, African-American 5-year-old girl. Please step away from the statue unless you want your other leg blown off. Cops dealing with right-wingers. Please, guys. You're making a mess. Please stop. I mean, this is literally the perfect depiction of what happened yesterday. Where there weren't really any like tear gas canisters, no projectiles being aimed directly at the heads of protesters. A lot of barricades being opened. Cops literally holding the hands of protesters and walking them down the stairs.
Thanks for helping a former Chud see the light.
No eyes lost. Kind of weird. Kind of weird to consider that when we saw so much police brutality this past year in the aftermath of the Black Lives Matter protests that are in some places still ongoing. Police brutality didn't stop. As a matter of fact, it escalated. And those were legitimate grievances. Remember, folks, this administration, under the orders of Donald Trump and Bill Barr, who was the Attorney General at the time, sent federal agents, BORTAC units, which is the SWAT of ICE, basically. The SWAT unit for ICE. Into Portland, Oregon. Because a courthouse, and this was literally not my words. These aren't my words. This is Chad Wolf acting acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf.
Hey, Hassan,
in his words, there were violent graffiti on the side of the Portland Federal Courthouse. So that meant you had to send in federal agents, unmarked, in unmarked vehicles, rental vehicles, kidnapping people from the streets of Portland. Even if they weren't engaging in an act of violent graffiti, if you will, if you would want to consider graffiti to be violent ever. And yet, no such measures were taken when they knew for months that this was going to happen.
Watching these pigs and chuds try to destroy America.
According to Sam Sachs of the DC Sentinel, the day before yesterday, Capitol Police ordered all contractors and vendors to not come to the Capitol on Wednesday. They knew exactly what was going to happen. They knew what was coming. I should clarify I don't know to what extent all vendors were told to stay home. I'm sure there were essential vendors who still had to come in, but Capitol Police absolutely made preparation by reaching out to certain vendors and telling them to stay home.
7 months of keeping a radical in a slightly more positive mindset. Thanks for the hard work, you big old himbo hassle.
Yeah, use Twitter for good news. What? I mean, that's Sam Sachs. He's a journalist. Like, do we have to go through this every time? Like, journalists break their own stories on Twitter before they finish writing it.
Forever, my boy. #fuck Trump.
It wasn't just Sam Sachs who reported on this, but Ken Klippenstein reported on this as well.
I can't wait for the Rust stream later. I recommend being the Blood God's version of My Pillow guy.
That one of his sources inside of, I believe, the FBI had informed him that they were also scaling back on activities and told some of the non-essential staffers to stay home. Do with that information what you will. Okay? But what is not a secret is what we saw. What we saw once these horny maniacs stormed into the halls of Congress was cops taking photos with them, cops escorting them out, cops rarely ever using violence, which isn't necessarily a good thing anyway. Usage of violence is not a good thing. But to avoid the reality, to avoid the stark difference there in treatment between BLM protesters and the MAGA supporters is, of course, is silly to avoid.
Calling on the Vice President
Anyway, let's get to some of the morning news that happened while I wasn't live, and then I'll talk more about the raid, the siege on Capitol Hill.
The White House out with a statement addressing yesterday's attack at the Capitol, saying it grieves the loss of life that occurred yesterday and extends sympathies to their families and loved ones.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I want to see what Nancy Pelosi had to say earlier this morning and what Joe Biden was saying. Pelosi's calling for the 25th Amendment. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter.
Happening on Capitol Hill today, doing that once again with the rollout of Joe Biden's Justice Department top picks. And so, he is picking his battles when he wants to go very carefully, but his words have been incredibly pointed and, of course, end up having parallels to the campaign that we just went through over the last several months.
Briefly, Mark, before I go.
Guys, I don't know if you saw what happened, but these guys are still ready to demonstrate blind loyalty to Donald Trump because they're not loyal to Donald Trump. They're loyal to Donald Trump's followers. They want Donald Trump's followers. So there was still 121, if I'm not mistaken. How many congresspersons literally voted or objected? There were 55 specifically objecting on Pennsylvania. Like, is it 121? Yeah. So there are still people in the House of Representatives that are absolutely not going to vote to impeach Donald Trump. Will use this as an opportunity to make a brave stance. People in the Republican side are going to say, wow, you're going too far now. Nancy Pelosi, you're going way too far. Or Chuck Schumer, you're going way too far. Look at how tyrannical these Democrats are. Ultimately, I think there should be a vehicle of accountability, even if it's literally purely symbolic. So I don't have a problem with drawing up articles of impeachment or, utilizing the 25th Amendment to get him out of office, even if it's literally just in the last day. Okay, even if it's just straight up the last day, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. The fact that it got to this point is completely unacceptable. And any sort of accountability, no matter how retroactive, is still going to be written in the history books. Important to fucking document. Important to recognize, I guess. Because otherwise, you're basically telling Republicans, it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. But on the other side, I should tell you, it literally doesn't matter if they impeach him now or draw up the 25th Amendment and invoke the 25th Amendment and remove him from office currently and then make Mike Pence the president for the next week. It straight up does not matter. And what I mean by that is the damage is done. The damage is already done. This already happened. He already fucked the country. Okay, he already ruined this shit. So Trump wants to pardon himself. I hope he rots in prison. It's not gonna happen, but I can't help but say I wish. Wait, it says show deleted messages. It shouldn't show them, but it's still showing them. I don't know why. Fucking Chatterino, please. Why? Why are you showing deleted messages? Anyway. What about Trump rehabilitation? No, man. Fuck you and fuck rehabilitation for Donald Trump right now. Rehabilitation also means that there has to be some sort of accountability. When people say rehabilitation over incarceration, they don't mean literally let rapists fucking run around and keep doing rapes. Okay, I know that that's usually how people operate, or that's usually what people try to say. Oh wow, you mean to tell me
Yesterday.
You mean to tell me that you want fucking rapists to roam free? No, motherfucker. The focus should be rehabilitation. Okay, a part of that is going to still be removing them from the universe if they are an immediate threat, an immediate, clear and present danger to others. Also, good luck to rehabbing Donald Trump. A part of Donald Trump's rehabilitation starts with him understanding that he did something wrong. Okay? And if there's no accountability for any Republicans, not just Donald Trump, by the way, literally any Republican that has effectively legitimized his reign, and nearly every single one of them have done this, okay, throughout the entire process. And at the very least, if they haven't normalized his behavior like Mitt Romney, they still advocate for the nefarious Republican agenda, okay? Which is still pretty fucking bad overall. They should also face consequences. They won't, but they should. Anyway, let's watch. Joe Biden gave another speech this morning, I guess. What we witnessed yesterday was not dissent. Let's see what he had to say. And also, I gotta welcome the Normans into our home. I'm gonna tweet out that I'm live right now for the Normans to come in as well. So. Daycare is open. Making sense of the hog rebellion that occurred yesterday. Join now. www.twitch.tv/Hasanabi. Totally forgot to mention that I was live. Anyway, let's get started.
In my view, one of the darkest days in the history of our nation. An unprecedented assault on our democracy. An assault literally on the citadel of liberty in the United States Capitol itself. An assault on the rule of law. An assault on the most sacred of American undertakings. Ratifying
Fossabot is authorized.
the will of the people in choosing the leadership of their government. All of us here grieve the loss of life, grieve the desecration of the people's house. But what we witnessed yesterday was not dissent, it was not disorder, it was not protest, it was chaos. They weren't protesters. Don't dare call them protesters. They were a riotous mob, insurrectionists, domestic terrorists. It's that basic, it's that simple. And I wish we could say we couldn't see it coming. But that isn't true. We could see it coming. The past 4 years, we
That's why I ran to restore the soul of the nation, Jack.
Contempt for our democracy, our Constitution, the rule of law, clear in everything he has done. He unleashed an all-out assault on our institutions of our democracy from the outset. And yesterday was but the culmination of that unrelenting attack. He's attacked the free press, who dared to question his power, repeatedly calling the free press the enemy of the people. Language, at the time he first used it, I and others said, has long been used by autocrats and dictators all over the world.
Did you say Jews and I? What did he just say? Did I misunderstand what he just said?
Long been used by autocrats and dictators. He first used it, I and others said, of the people. Language, at the time he first used it, I...
Oh, at the time he first used... God damn, his dentures are fucking blowing. No. First used, I think. And I and others have said.
And others said, has long been used by autocrats and dictators all over the world.
Fucking dentures,
to hold on
dude.
To power, the enemy of the people. Language that is being used now by autocrats and dictators across the world, only this time with the imperator of an outgoing president of the United States of America. He's attacked our intelligence services, who dared tell the American people the truth about the effort of a foreign power to elect him 4 years ago, choosing instead to believe the word of Vladimir Putin over the word of those who've sworn their allegiance to this nation, many of whom had risked their lives in the service of this nation.
Mods, please nuke set to 12x
The
spammers.
United States military tear gassing peaceful protesters in pursuit of a photo opportunity in the service of his reelection, even holding the Bible upside down.
What does he keep telling me to set the speed
The action
higher?
that led to an apology from the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and an outspoken denunciation of the use of military for domestic political purposes from scores of former military leaders and secretaries of defense, led by Secretary Cheney. He thought he could stack the courts with friendly judges who would support him no matter what. They were Trump judges, his judges. He went so far as to say he needed 9 justices on the Supreme Court because he thought the election would end up in the Supreme Court and they would hand him the election. He was stunned, truly stunned, when the judges he appointed didn't do his bidding, instead acted with integrity, following the Constitution, upholding the rule of law, not just once or twice or 3 times, but over 60 times. Let me say it, over 60 times. In more than 60 cases, in state after state after state. And then at the Supreme Court, as judges, including people considered, quote, his judges, Trump judges, use his words, looked at the allegations that Trump was making and determined they were without any merit. Nothing was judged to put this election in question or doubt by any of these judges. You want to understand the importance of democratic institutions in this country? Take a look at the judiciary in this nation. Take a look.
Actually, sir, he won one of the court cases that didn't even revolve around like recounting the votes or anything, but instead moving poll watchers from 12 feet to 6 feet, which, by the way, is actually an argument that conservatives make or have been making and have made in the past. Like, out of 60 court cases, most of them thrown out because it's not in good standing. Most of them thrown out because it's like filed inappropriately. Most of them thrown out because like it's just a ridiculous fucking court case that does not meet the standard to like literally overturn the results of an election or even like look at overturning the results of an election. One of those court cases actually moved poll watchers from 12 feet to 6 feet. So technically that's a victory, sir. And actually that is indicative of the reality that some fuckery went on. So, I mean, that's like their copium. The copium inhalant is so dangerous at this point that like it literally, if you overdose on copium, you might actually find yourself storming the halls of Congress. What the fuck do we think was going to happen? What do we think was going to happen? It's like a powder keg. You got a bunch of agitated psychos who have been wound up for the past 4 years by both Donald Trump and also every fucking Republican who has legitimized him. And Donald Trump himself isn't personally responsible for this kind of mob violence. He is simply inheriting that, okay, after years and years of Republican racial agitation and Democratic incompetence, okay, a lack of accountability or any sort of pushback or any sort of like clear analysis or interest in solving the material problems in which this sort of radicalization can happen. Okay. But mostly Republicans straight up doing racial agitprop. And then Donald Trump taking over that, noticing that that's absolutely something that works, recognizing it, and being a powerful demagogue. It was a powder keg. Of course this was going to happen. I did not think that this was going to happen yesterday. I did not think that this was going to happen in the way that it did yesterday. But of course it was going to happen. At some point, it was inevitable. And guess what? It's still going to happen. This is not over yet. And I don't mean like there's going to be another rally. There might be some instances of violence here and there. Okay? But unless we solve the issues, and I don't mean like political polarization, this country is too polarized right now. No, like, no, the real issues. Okay? Unless we take a good, long, hard look at what the problems are in this country that the American working class faces. Doesn't matter if they're racist. Doesn't matter if they're not racist. Black, brown. Doesn't matter. Just every single worker. Every single American. The economic anxiety that they feel. The uncertainty they feel about the future. Doesn't matter how old they are, young or old. We don't analyze the racial wounds and try to heal this nation by actually focusing on the white supremacist attitudes that we have, the white supremacist streak that our institutions still have as a consequence of its founding revolving around white supremacist fundamentals. I'm sorry, guys. That is the truth. I know it's a hard pill to swallow a lot of times. We don't take a good, cold, hard look at that. This is not going anywhere. We keep pushing the material inequalities that truly frustrate people and weigh on their soul and burden them. If we truly just like push that to the side, cast that to the side, and don't offer solutions. Social justice, but also economic justice. Then more and more people are going to tap out. And we're going to allow the most radical of the hogs to continue dominating the political space. Republicans have shown their interest. Once again, they've shown their interest in just never really trying to take a step back. And after all, why would they? Why would they try to take a step back and be like, this is probably not good for America? If it helps them win elections, that's all they care about. If there's no accountability from the other side, then why the fuck wouldn't they keep doing this? Why wouldn't they keep agitating the hogs? Why shouldn't Matt Gaetz go on in that very same chamber where a person was fucking shot and killed hours before, outside of that same chamber in the halls of Congress? A person was shot and killed. Matt Gaetz literally goes on that chamber last night and lies and says Antifa was responsible. There were Antifa members that participated in this raid. Why shouldn't he lie? What is stopping him from lying like this? If there's nothing stopping him from lying like this, and lying like that actually helps him win his district, then why should he stop? There is no sense of decency or an interest in, preserving these antiquated institutions exclusively for symbolic reasons, by the way. Like, that is not a guiding principle of people. It's not even a guiding principle for Democrats, by the way, who cry about decency and shit. That's not a real thing. Okay? You have to have rules. You have to have actual rules. You have to have consequences for your actions. And if Democrats play this dance that I don't know. It's like, it's maybe just Trump. He's the only one who's responsible, or I don't know. Republicans are overall good. We just got to work with them. They just want what's best for their constituents. If they keep playing this song and dance, then there is nothing stopping Republicans from continuing to demonstrate repugnant behavior. Repugnant behavior that actually harms people's lives. And I don't just mean storming the halls of Congress. Because the other side of that QAnon supporter getting shot yesterday is a really sad story of someone, a 14-year-old veteran of the Air Force, getting radicalized on the internet and becoming a QAnon supporter and being lied to so consistently that she takes a fucking, no, she's a 14-year veteran, not 14-year-old, sorry. 14-year veteran of the Air Force. The other side of that story is a woman, a wife, living in San Diego, getting fed this misinformation, losing her fucking mind to a degree where she wants to take action. Action that ended up with her dying. That's terrible. I'm sure a lot of you also know people, maybe not in your immediate family, but know people that you went to high school with, that you have watched lose their fucking minds because of Facebook and YouTube and these QAnon psychos who straight up took advantage of a life-changing disaster in the form of COVID-19, take advantage of the confusion and chaos that happened in that moment of time to literally radicalize people into believing nonsensical conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories that, weirdly enough, always revolve around reactionary politics and voting for the Republicans. So weird that you went from COVID is fake to like, I love Donald Trump. I mean, there's an example of this in Gutex, the face of PogChamp, who was recently banned. I've had conversations with him before. I was on the Trainwrecks podcast with him. If you guys remember, I don't know what it, I don't know if there's any clips of that still available out there on the internet somewhere. Seemed like a normal guy. Seemed a little depressed, I'll admit. When I first met him on the Trainwrecks podcast, I thought he was a little, he seemed a little sad. Okay. But overall, he seemed like a normal dude who was kind of open-minded. He asked some great questions to me as well. He wasn't like trying to debate Lord me or anything like that. He did not give me any signals that he was reactionary in the least bit. Now, this was in, I think, 2019 or maybe the beginning of 2020. No, I think it was in 2019, actually. And then I started hearing about how he's an anti-vaxxer in the middle of 2020. And around March, at the peak of COVID, I started hearing about how he's a COVID denier. Yesterday, he tweeted about conspiracies on how big tech is censoring him and how Donald Trump is great or something along that line. And his radicalization was complete. I mean, you can joke about his past. You could say he was a bad, a business owner. You could say that he wasn't a great content creator. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't care about the fact that like his face is one of the most well recognized Twitch memes, and probably literally the most well recognized Twitch meme of all time. He had already transcended, like the PogChamp emote itself had already transcended Gutex. Many people don't even know who the fuck I'm talking about right now. Okay? And I'll continue to use the different variations on my channel as well. But the point is, Twitch banned his emote because they didn't want to be associated with him. And that's understandable. Because it is a big emote. It is one of the big global emotes. But the point is, I feel bad. On the one hand, I get angry, especially if people are further lying to others and misinforming others and spreading conspiracy theories and trying to proselytize psychotic worldviews that are dangerous and harmful and put others in harm's way and push them away from their friends and family. But then on the other side, I feel sad. Because you also know people like this that probably started getting radicalized as a consequence of COVID. We need to figure out a way to prevent that from happening. And I'll be honest, I don't know what the exact solutions are. But it's something that we definitely need to fucking fix. Because this shit is crazy, dude. It's fucking nuts. Like these platforms that started off by dudes who wanted to, like, you know, fuck people in college. Like Mark Zuckerberg creating a website that rates women, turned into, in a span of 2 decades, literally turned into a website that played a significant role in genocide of Rohingya Muslims in Burma. Okay? A platform that is experimenting with a walled garden internet concept in places like India, where people that do not have enough money to purchase broadband would get free internet, but their entire internet would be Facebook. And whatever Facebook wants you to see, you would see. But can you imagine? That's how this shit started, and that's where we're at now. This website that has the capacity to, and people have tested this already, to potentially overturn election outcomes. What the fuck are we doing, dude? This website that has radicalized your parents, if you want to think about it from a more personalized, if you don't give a shit about the genocide of Muslims in Burma. I'm from India, don't lie, please. You think Facebook's walled garden story is a lie? You think Facebook didn't actually try to implement a walled garden internet proposal in India, which was shot down? Oh, wow. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, India doesn't want Facebook's walled garden internet from January 4th, 2016. Bitch, just because you're from fucking India doesn't mean that I know more than you, okay? I do know more than you about your own stupid fucking country. Why don't you learn about your own goddamn country before coming in here and being like, I'm from India, you're lying. Dumbass. I don't mean India is stupid, obviously. You know what I'm fucking saying. Clearly they're not stupid because they didn't want this to happen. Motherfucker trying to tell me like, oh, I'm from India. You're wrong. Anyway. Stop saying current date. Like, obviously I fucking misspoke. Jesus Christ, dude. Yikes. This exists in the Philippines too. It's super fucked. Yeah. That's what I am talking about. I am talking about Myanmar. The genocide. For the Indian chatters in India, I'm Indian too. I'm upper middle class. So the proposal was for the lower middle class and below, which constitutes the majority of the country. So you're right. The chatter's fucking stupid. Yeah. They wanted to offer free internet to people as a sound proposal until you recognize that they have full control over what you get to see. It's called walled garden. And this already exists in other countries too. Anyway, regardless, I digress. The point is we have some very significant problems. Problems created by those who are only interested in profit, only motivated by profit. And a big part of the problem is that our government is not really doing anything. I mean, think about the anti-monopolist arguments that our government has launched in this past year alone. Literally all of it revolves around how conservative speech is being far too regulated. Like, Republicans only care about fucking trust busting when it comes to using it as a cudgel to allow their constituents to say the N-word on their platforms freely. How psychotic is that? God damn, dude. That's crazy. You check out Parler at all? No, I don't want to get fucking eye cancer. So of course I don't spend the 3 seconds I have in my day not thinking about how the world is fucked, looking at Parler so I can see all of the people in my fucking, so I can see all the DMs that I get from those sickos, but search it, seek it out personally. What? Did this person ban me or something? Or block me? I can't. They probably did block me. Nope, it says tweet is unavailable. Okay.